Hello everybody, this is Ben with another Minecraft video. In today's episode I wanted to show off my item recovery system. So what this is an alternative to a traditional storage room. In your traditional storage room you'd have a double chest full of whatever item you're interested in. In this system, instead your items are stored elsewhere and brought to you when you click a button. It does this through minecart. Now, from a practicality standpoint, this is a very inefficient system. You can store twice as many items in a double chest than you can in a single chest. And with the new trap chest, you can put chests next to each other. So from efficiency and space and even a time standpoint, this is completely superfluous and unnecessary. But it is an interesting study in redstone, and there's a lot of interesting features in this that you can use for your own designs. So I'm going to show off how to build it and the principles behind building it. So let's get started. I wanted to test out ways of encoding and decoding information. And that's all this device really is an encoder and decoder. It takes the strength of a redstone signal produced by the buttons and converts it into a position for a minecart to be launched from. I'm going to be building a score display and one of these modules just to show you how it works, but you can expand it up to 15 times in this case. Previously I built another version that only has 8 inputs. It works on the same exact concept except a slightly modified decoder. So I think we'll build over here. So first you want to build a pretty good sized platform here. Next you want to put 7 lamps on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 8 on the top. You want to leave a gap between the two. You can really use any kind of block. Lamps probably aren't actually the best thing because when you hit them, they light up the ones next to them, but oh well. Lamps are more useful for this one because the buttons are right next to each other. But we'll keep with this one. Okay. Once you have your lamps, we're going to wire up the back. I'm going to use red wool for this. And let's go with purple wool. Purple wool, we're going to need redstone and comparator. You're going to put wool underneath all the lamps. You're going to go one beyond the lamps, and then you're going to put wool in this position. This is so you can put a comparator in. And then you're going to put a redstone dust here. This will transmit your redstone signal down without it losing any power. Okay, then all we have to do is put a comparator here at the end. And this will be your output. Next, we're going to build our decoder. So we eventually want to put a stopping piston there, so we're just going to put a comparator into a block into another comparator. This way you can cut off power from going out by powering a piston here. Next, we want to put 2 redstone and a comparator. And we're going to actually build 2 of these just to show off how it works. Next, you're going to put your blocks in this position. And you're going to put a sticky piston on. Oops, I actually want to put it there and there. And a block here and here. Then you want to put 1 piston or 1 repeater at 2 ticks and 1 at 1 tick. 2 and 1. Now, how this is going to work is if this is 1 strength, it will power through here. If there's more strength than 1, this will be powered, which will extend and cut off power from flowing to this repeater here and here. This is a pretty simple way of detecting whether you are at the end of the line of redstone power or in the middle of the line of redstone power. Now I want an output, so I'm just going to put a torch here and here. I've added a stack of redstone lamps just so you could see it easier. When I press this button, the redstone signal will go through here. It will wind up as a 1 strength signal. When it passes through here, it will pass into that tower, turning it off. So that's working. When I hit the second button, the redstone will do the same, but it'll be at power 2, so it will cause this piston to extend, which will cut power from going through here. It will diminish by 1 by doing that, by going from here to here, and they'll be at 1 power here and not trigger that piston. So if we put that, you can see that extend and then that go off without affecting this. So that's exactly what we want to see. Okay, I'm going to demolish this and then we can build the rest of the contraption here. My original design for storing and then deploying carts was this system here where you put in carts. They would trigger a detector rail which would power the track, causing it to switch, and then the next one could be put in. And this way you can send carts down one rail line and have them split off into unoccupied rail lines. The issue with this design is that detector rails are buggy right now. For example, if I drop this cart, put it back, okay, you can see that detector rail is still providing power, which it shouldn't be. You see right there where it turned off. Sometimes it can take quite a while for it to turn itself off. So we can't use a detector rail because it's glitched, but we can use a block update detector. What it'll do is whenever the cart lands here, we're going to have a cause of block update, which will cause the block update detector to trigger, and in that way we can detect whether there is a cart here or not. So we're going to put wool in this configuration. You want to put a redstone dust here, a torch, and a line of redstone dust. You could have this be on either side, by the way. So now this is a fully working update detector. It'll work on all sides. Very good. A side benefit of this is that we now have this torch that turns on and off. And we will use this torch to power our T-junction for our rail. But before we do that, we need to add one last thing, which is string. So string is pretty cool in that it will cause a block update if you, or any item, is on it. It basically acts as a pressure plate for bug switches. So we're going to use that to detect when there's a minecart in this little cubby hole here. Next we have the track. So we want this this torch to be kind of the center of our track. Now depending on what orientation you build this track, you might need to do some configuring with whether this is normally, whether this torch is normally on or normally off. Okay, so our display is here, so we're going to be sending carts this way when we're done with them. So what we want to happen is for this to, if there's no cart in here, for the cart to go this way and land into this. If there is a cart in here, we want this to be powered so that the cart will continue on its way. So this looks pretty good as is. Of course, we have a problem, which is we want to drop the cart here, but our line's going this way. So in order to rectify that, well, first I want to build up these walls here. What I want to do is put a block there, and then remove it, and that will keep the curve section intact. So now when a cart comes here, it will turn and fall down there where it will trigger the flood switch. Of course, we messed it up by putting that glass block there, and now it's actually the opposite of what we want. Now if we try to send a cart through, it will pass through here instead of going in there. So to fix that, all you need to do is put down the block next to it, put one below, put a lever there, power it, and then destroy the block. And that will get you an odd number of updates. So let's test this baby out. Grab the cart. You can see it now switch, so this one will go forwards. Next we want to recover the cart. So we're going to put a block next to it, facing away from where it's going to go. And then you want to put power rails, like so. That way, when this drops, it will drop. And you go down. Next, we have to build a docking station here, which is just I'm going to put down a power rail there, some more power rail, and then you want to encase this. Like so. And then you want to grab a button and pop it right down there. So now when you hit this button, it will power this rail here. See there? So now if we try putting a cart here, try putting a cart here, goes in, gets stopped, can access it, and then when you press the button, it will go off. So working with tracks isn't the easiest thing. Sometimes you have to do some kind of crazy stuff to get it to work. Basically, you want to have it so it will come in this way and then leave up a ramp. We want to get up to this level here. So you can do that a few different ways. You can do a kind of a flip through thing here. And a cart will pass through here and then go up here. So actually that's not going to work. Another thing you want to do is replace this piece with a power rail. Otherwise, you are going to run out of steam eventually. And let's test this out. So we're going to get a cart. We're going to put it in. The button goes up, goes over, and flips it around. So if we get another one, go up and continue on. Very good. A problem occurs if you hit, several buttons while there are carts in the system. While they'll be dispensed okay, the system relies on a linear track to shunt off different carts. So basically, if you have a diamond cart first and then a coal cart second, if you were to send those in reverse order, the the coal cart would end up in the diamond slot because that's the first open one, and then the diamond slot would end up in the coal one, which is not what we want. So we only want one cart free at a time. So in order to limit that, we're going to use this block here. So I want this block to be extended when there's not a cart, when there's a cart missing from the system. So you could grab redstone signal from lots of places here. I'm going to take it from right there. Though, sorry, I'm going to take it from, so it's green, here. So currently there's a current in the system. So we don't want this line to be powered down here. So we'll do this. Depending on where you are building this, whether this is on or off changes, and so you might have to put a torch here with a, you might have to put a torch here to reverse the signal. In this case, you don't need to. You can just have the signal come straight out of this block here. And you want to run it over to your piston here. And I don't know if that's going to reach or not. Let's put in a repeater and test it out. That drops, that comes up here. This piston is now extended, so if we press, let's say, 2, nothing's going through, 2 won't be launched. We hit 1, 1 won't be launched again, so we can take our time to do one to the cart, send it back, and when the cart gets back, it will trigger that bud switch, which will shut the whole thing off. So this is a robust system in that manner. And that's how you build it. You just have to build modules going this way and extend these back. So I'm going to end off this video showing the fully built one working. So we're going to choose one that's pretty far away. Now this is of course in reverse order, so this one is actually the farthest away. You can see the line of pistons go. We can see the cart. It arrives, take what we want from it, send it off, it goes up, and goes back. Now this last one here, we don't need to worry about switching tracks because it is always the last one. So, but you still want the bud switch here so that you can detect, so you can have this go off and lock this in. If you don't want that locking mechanism, you don't need the bud switch at the end. Let's pick one that's not at the end so we can see the system working there. Get what we want, send it back. Very cool. So that does it for me today. I hope you like this little tutorial. It's not the most practical designs, but it is fun to watch it go. It is a cool little thing. I don't know if you would use this for really anything. But this is a nice design for pulse strength detection, and is certainly useful in many future projects I'm going to do. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Goodbye.